The film opens with a chilling recount of one of Ed and Lorraine Warren's most infamous cases, the Annabelle doll. Two young women and a man sit in a dimly lit room, their faces tense as they recount the horrifying events surrounding the doll. They explain how Annabelle, a gift from a mother to her daughter, began behaving strangely. At first it seemed innocent, like notes appearing that read, "Miss me?" But things escalated when the doll started moving on its own. The final straw came when Annabelle left claw marks on a man's chest. Ed and Lorraine Warren, paranormal investigators, took the case. They explained that Annabelle isn't possessed by a ghost but by a demon, using the doll as a conduit. The Warrens secured the doll in a glass case in their artifact room to contain its dark power, with strict instructions never to open it. This chilling opening sets the tone for the horrors to come. The focus then shifts to 1971, where the Perron family is moving into a secluded, worn-down farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. The family consists of Roger, a truck driver, Carolyn, a homemaker, and their 5 daughters, Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and the youngest, April. The family seems cheerful as they explore their new home, despite its eerie, creaking floors and dim lighting. The house is surrounded by a thick forest, with an old oak tree looming ominously in the backyard. As the family unloads their belongings, their dog, Sadie, refuses to enter the house, barking furiously at the front door. They dismiss this as the dog being unsettled by the move. Inside, the family discovers strange details about the house. All the windows are boarded shut, and in the basement, they find a hidden cellar filled with cobwebs and broken furniture. Roger jokes about fixing the place up, but Carolyn seems uneasy, though she brushes it off for the sake of her daughters. April, the youngest, finds a peculiar music box in the backyard. The design is intricate, with a rotating mirror inside. As the music plays, the mirror reveals a shadowy figure standing behind her. But when April turns around, no one is there. Strange occurrences begin almost immediately. The first night, all the clocks in the house stop at exactly 3:07 a.m. Cindy starts sleepwalking and repeatedly bumps into a large wardrobe in Andrea's room, an old habit that Carolyn thought she had grown out of. Meanwhile, Carolyn notices bruises on her arms and legs, which she assumes are from moving furniture. Outside, the family wakes to find their dog, Sadie, dead under the oak tree. The unsettling events start to build tension in the household. The paranormal activity intensifies over the next few days. Christine, one of the younger daughters, wakes up in the middle of the night feeling a sharp tug on her leg. She looks around but sees nothing. Suddenly, her room fills with a foul stench, as if something rotten is nearby. Christine wakes her sister, Nancy, who also begins to feel a sinister presence. Meanwhile, Carolyn hears clapping sounds throughout the house. At first, she thinks it's her daughters playing their favorite hide-and-clap game, but when she investigates, she finds no one there. These incidents unsettle Carolyn, but Roger remains skeptical, brushing it off as their imagination. One night, the family plays hide-and-clap, a game where one person is blindfolded and has to find the others by following the sound of their claps. Carolyn, blindfolded, hears clapping coming from a dark hallway. She follows the sound to the wardrobe in Andrea's room but finds it empty. Later, Carolyn hears noises coming from the basement. She investigates and is locked inside by an unseen force. She screams for help, banging on the door, while her daughters upstairs face terror of their own. Andrea is attacked by a dark figure that slams the wardrobe shut and lunges at her. Terrified and desperate, Carolyn attends a lecture by Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are renowned for their work in the paranormal. The Warrens explain the nature of demonic entities and their ability to latch onto vulnerable families. Carolyn approaches them after the lecture, begging for their help. She describes the escalating terror her family is facing. Lorraine, sensing Carolyn's desperation, convinces Ed to visit the Perron home. When the Warrens arrive, Lorraine is immediately overwhelmed by the house's dark energy. She sees shadowy figures in the corners of the rooms and feels a malevolent presence. While walking through the house, Lorraine notices a dark black mass clinging to Carolyn. She tells Ed that the family is in grave danger. The Warrens agree to investigate further, setting up cameras, motion detectors, and audio recorders to document the activity. As they delve into the house's history, they uncover the tragic story of Bathsheba Sherman, a woman accused of witchcraft in the 1800s. Bathsheba sacrificed her infant to Satan, cursed anyone who would take her land, and hanged herself from the tree in the backyard. Lorraine's psychic visions reveal that Bathsheba's spirit is the source of the haunting. Over the years, other families who lived on the property experienced horrific events, including suicides, murders, and disappearances. The paranormal activity grows more violent. Christine is dragged across her room by her hair, screaming in terror. Cindy sleepwalks again, leading the Warrens to the wardrobe. Lorraine discovers a hidden crawl space behind it and finds a noose. She sees a vision of Bathsheba hanging from the tree, her lifeless body swaying as she lets out an inhuman scream. The Warrens realize that Bathsheba is targeting Carolyn, attempting to possess her and use her to harm her own children. The family tries to escape by staying at a hotel, but the spirit follows them. The Warrens explain that the entity has latched onto the family and will not stop until its goal is complete. Carolyn becomes increasingly erratic, her behavior shifting to violent outbursts. One night, she abducts 2 of her daughters and takes them back to the house. Ed, Lorraine, and their team find Carolyn in the basement, fully possessed by Bathsheba. She is trying to kill one of her daughters with scissors. Lorraine uses a memory of Carolyn's love for her family to temporarily break the demon's hold. Ed decides to perform the exorcism himself, despite not being a priest. The room descends into chaos. Objects fly across the room. Carolyn's body contorts in unnatural ways, and a guttural voice emanates from her. The exorcism is intense and grueling. Lorraine connects psychically with Carolyn, urging her to fight back. Finally, with a final prayer, Ed commands the demon to leave, and Bathsheba's spirit is cast out. Carolyn collapses, freed from the possession. The family is safe, though deeply shaken. The film ends with the Warrens returning home, placing a new artifact from the Perrin case in their artifact room. Lorraine mentions another case waiting for them in Long Island, leaving the audience with an ominous hint of what's to come.